This is Chris UX. I'm the founder of the Aspire Agency, here for another video. Um, Another video about putting money over UX. If you saw my last video, I was talking about Apple throwing a YouTube album on everybody's iPhones. So today's victim is also Apple, but not just Apple, but Meta as well. I had questions about how I feel about the future of the internet and virtual reality and everything, AR. And one of the products that came to mind that were released recently, I want to say maybe last year or year before, time be flying, is the Apple Vision Pro. But do I feel like it's the future? Personally, I don't, because even though it's a very fancy device, I feel like it won't be on because of UX. It's a bad UX experience. And what do I mean by that? Well, to me, we can talk about two different devices. We will talk about the Apple Vision Pro, and also the Meta Quest. So if you've seen the Apple Vision Pro, the how it looks here, it's like a $3,000 device. I want to say 3,500. And I watched the Apple presentation when it first came out, and from what I gathered from it, it was just a virtual AR version of the iPad to me. Like, you use the same operating system with some of the same apps and everything. And I'm watching the presentation, and I'm looking at the different apps, and yeah, it's impressive. But but can I see people using this every day? Can I see someone wearing this for 6 to 8 hours a day? No, I do not, for many reasons. I think one of the negatives of these type of devices is the head fatigue, for one, the weight of the device, and eye fatigue. And I feel like until those problems are solved with any of these headsets, I don't see it being in our future, in my personal opinion. And then, like, what is the problem that they're solving with this device? That's the only thing. That's another question I ask as a UX designer. And I don't see it solving any problems, especially if you're using pretty much the same setup as an iPad. And then overall, it has some weird use cases too that they showed in the presentation. I remember they had this one part in the presentation where it was his family all together for the child's birthday party, and the father had on the Vision Pro, walking around, and supposedly it put a sort of problem in him trying to capture moments, or instead of him trying to rush to find a camera or trying to get people to say cheese or anything like that, he just had the device on where he can just capture moments as it's happening, easily. And okay, yeah, that's pretty cool, but to me, it leads to a disconnect to the actual event in itself, because because you absorb into this device, right? And you see what Apple tried to do here. Like, this is not really her real eyes here. This is still another digital image of her eyes. So supposedly, so you won't feel so awkward looking at somebody wearing a device. It has some type of normalcy, I guess. But to me, it misses the mark still, because, like, you still disconnected from that child because you're wearing this big headset. You disconnected from the whole event. So that's one use case I thought they failed on. Another use case they had was the watching movies. Okay, cool. That was a different experience there, but when so I saw the presentation and this person watching the movie, and I went back to the Apple website and read the specs. The battery life on average is like barely 2 hours, I believe. So I'm like, no, what movie are you watching? It's definitely not the Avengers. You talk about Avengers Endgame, you talk about 3 hours plus. You're not gonna make it. So like, okay, so you can barely watch a whole movie on that, and to address the head fatigue, or I guess they try to make the device lighter. So instead of having the battery built into the device itself, that's why you see like the little cord going behind her, because it leads to the battery pack. And so, like, okay, that was a unique solution, but I don't think they resolved the problem of fatigue. And then, considering that you had these, you're staring at a screen, like, how it is growing up. You sit too close to the TV, and your parents are like, yo, don't sit so close to the TV, or don't be sitting at a computer all the time, because it's a screen. So just imagine you wearing this device, and the screen's right there in your face, right there on your eyeballs there. So you talk about you still getting eye fatigue, and you still getting the head fatigue. So I feel like until those two core problems are solved, I don't see how this could be anywhere being our future as a normal device. Like, I feel like, and then it's like, and I know this is a test device, and that's why they charge such an exorbitant amount of money, $3,500. But like, who is the market for this exactly? Because like, if I had the budget to pay 3,500 for this device, and let's say you buying it, only thing you can do on there is consume media. So you just buying it, say you want to watch some shows and movies. Well, if I can afford this device, more likely I have me like a 70-inch TV in my living room in my own place that I can watch with some good set of speakers. I can do that same experience without wearing this device, and I can watch with anybody else who's with me. And that's another thing in itself. You know, Now I can say if you're a person that's maybe younger, like say you're a teenager staying with your parents, and you don't, or you have a bunch of siblings, and you don't have access to a TV to yourself to watch something, and you want that immersive experience, then yeah, you can throw that on. But again, $3,500 though, you know what I mean? So I just feel like it really missed the mark for this. So I was wondering what type of UX research was done, with this device before they put it out. What type of results did they get that made them feel confident in putting out this device? Because I don't see it. Because I could probably almost guarantee that anybody who rushed out and bought this device, within a month, it probably got back. It's sitting on a shelf right now collecting dust. I don't see use on a day-to-day basis. Now with the Meta Quest devices, which is a lot cheaper for one, I think it's like you can get one for like as low as $300, and made for more like gaming and fitness. I can see. I think those are better use cases, but still, it still doesn't solve the problem of the eye fatigue and the head fatigue. And but they did solve the problem with people who wear glasses, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Well, they didn't solve it, but I remember. I have a set, and then I had like you get like a separate accessory, like that's like prescription glass that matches your glasses, so you don't have to worry about putting it over your glasses to take full use of the device. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, but I know with Meta, they still felt too, because the whole thing why they changed the name to Meta is they just assumed that everybody would be living in the metaverse, and you always be plugged into this device. And after an hour or so, I think you'd be ready to take this device off your head. I don't see people doing a full day wearing this device on their head. One, and then and two, I was just thinking about I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a series on Netflix called Black Mirror. And I remember they did an episode about these people just plugged into devices all day, and basically like a virtual reality version of The Sims, and it got really tense. And of course, with Black Mirror, everything that with technology just goes bad, and yeah, so I just don't see these things happening. So I think these are good concepts and good ideas, but they still need some time to bake in the oven. I don't think it's ready for prime time yet, in my personal opinion. But you tell me, like, do you own a Meta Quest device? Do you own a Vision Pro? I mean, if you do you like it? Do you still use it? But I didn't see any cases. I don't see it solving anything. I think that the technology is very impressive. The way, especially with the eye tracking and selecting the app you want to use, like it was pretty accurate. I give it that much. But yeah, I just feel like until the technology to the point where it's like Tony Stark, like Iron Man, where he had like this full computer experience within his shades, within his sunglasses. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. So I just feel like this is another case of putting money over UX, because I just feel like if you did proper UX research, I don't see this how they could have got the green light to go to market with this, because like to me, it was nothing really selling me on this device to use on a day-to-day basis, in my personal opinion. But if you disagree, let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. But thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.